7th chord arpeggios. We've learned our 5 shapes of major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, and minor 7 flat 5. So of course, I know you're all looking forward to this, we have to learn our arpeggios for those chords. Let's start with major 7, and we'll do this one in G. So again, we'll start at the bottom of the neck. Our lowest playable octave shape is pattern 3. So our major chord is there. Now, our major 7th chord, we can play like that. I know that's not exactly what the major 7 shape looks like when we move it, but because we're in open position with G, we can play the root and not just play this upper piece. So anyway, our major 7 arpeggio in pattern 3. Pattern 4, octave shape, major 7 chord shape, and our arpeggio. Awesome. Connect your roots. Pattern 5. There's your major shape. And now our arpeggio. Now there's no real good way to do this upper part here. So if you noticed, I kind of went up with my pinky and kind of came back down. There really isn't a perfect way to do that. So you can kind of use whatever fingering is comfortable for you. All right, moving on. There's our octave shape. There's our major 7 chord shape, and now our major 7 arpeggio. Awesome. And lastly, pattern 2. Octave shape, major 7 chord shape, and now our arpeggio. Okay, so now we're going to go on and we're going to do our minor 7 arpeggios, all 5 patterns. So let's do this one in A. How about that? So in A, our lowest playable shape will be pattern 2. There's our minor 7 chord shape, and now our A minor 7 arpeggio. Pattern 3. There's our octave shape. Now again, this one's kind of weird with the chord shape. I know it's up here, but our roots are going to be here, so this is where we're going to start. So again, this is your pattern 3 minor 7 arpeggio. Pattern 4, octave shape, minor 7 chord shape, and now our pattern 4, minor 7 arpeggio shape. Nice. All right, pattern 5, octave shape, minor 7 chord shape, and now our pattern 5 minor 7 arpeggio shape. And lastly, pattern 1. Minor 7 chord shape, and our pattern 1 minor 7 arpeggio shape. next one. Do dominant 7, and let's do dominant 7. Well, we'll do it in G again. Why not? So again, our lowest playable G octave shape, pattern 3. Right? Our dominant 7. There's your chord shape. And your dominant 7 arpeggio. Pattern 3. Pattern 4, octave shape, dominant 7 chord shape, and now your dominant 7 pattern 4 arpeggio shape. All right, now pattern 5, octave shape, dominant 7 chord shape, and now our pattern 5 dominant 7 arpeggio shape. Now there is an option here. Instead of hitting that flat 7 here, you can hit it here like this. Obviously it's the same note, you know, when you're doing these arpeggios with 4-note chords, you kind of have some overlap. So if you did that one, it would look like this. See, all I do is play it here instead of here. Same deal. All right. So now pattern 1. Here's our octave shape, dominant 7 chord shape, and now our pattern 1 dominant 7 arpeggio. And our last one is pattern 2. Octave shape, dominant 7 chord shape, and now our pattern 2 dominant 7 arpeggio shape. Okay, and lastly, minor 7 flat 5 chords. We're going to do this one in the key of E. Our lowest playable E octave shape is pattern 4. We have our minor 7 flat 5 chord. We can't really get the flat 5 on the second string in the shape that I've showed you before. When you do play this in open position, you know, you can just add it here, although it sounds horrendous. But either way, we're doing it in E. Pattern 4, minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. All right, pattern 5. Here's your octave shape. Here's your minor 7, flat 5 chord shape. And now is your pattern 5, minor 7, flat 5 arpeggio in E. Pattern 1, moving on up. There's your octave shape. Here's your pattern 1, minor 7, flat 5 chord shape. That's an E with a G minor on top. And now our pattern 1, minor 7, flat 5 arpeggio shape in E. pattern 2, octave shape, chord shape, and again, pattern 2 is probably the one you're going to use most when you do minor 7 flat 5. It's the easiest, it's the cleanest, it makes most sense. All right, so octave shape, chord shape, and now pattern 2, minor 7 flat 5, arpeggio shape in E. And lastly, pattern 3. Here's your octave shape, your minor 7 flat 5, chord shape, and so this is our pattern 3, minor 7 flat 5, arpeggio shape in E. What I would like to see you do is play a 1-4-5 using your diatonic 7th chord. So your 1 is going to be major 7, 4 is going to be major 7, and your 5 is going to be dominant 7. And I want to just see you mess around. Just show me real quickly that you understand the arpeggio movement in between these different chord types. So I'm going to do mine in A. So that's going to be A major 7, D major 7, and E 7. So that was A pattern 4, D pattern 2, and E pattern 1. And I just want to kind of see you mess around. You can put on a backing track or whatever you like, or just play it clean. So for my 1 chord, I'm going to go, accentuate that arpeggio. And then when you go to D, your 4 chord, major 7. When you go to your 5 chord, you go to E, 7. Make sure you accentuate that flat 7. That's what makes that chord dominant, And then back to your 1. So kind of throw it all together. Don't embellish anything. Just use only the chord tones, only the arpeggio of the 1-4-5. So here's an example of what I'd like to see you play. Just something simple like that. So again, all 5 shapes of your arpeggio of your 4 major 7 chord types, and then a quick little improv of a 1-4-5 in any key you like using your diatonic 7th chord. So your 1's major 7, your 4's major 7, and your 5 is dominant 7. Look forward to seeing it.